You are a product of your time. In two ways. One being that you belong to a particular period in history, particular time period, which has a specific characteristic in the sense of culture, context, custom. And you are a product of these. I mean, you dress according to whatever's available at the time. You eat whatever food is available. You think in the same way as, or the same language that is used to communicate ideas. But you're also a product of time in the more universal sense of time, being a concept of nature. That each and every particular moment that occupy every second, minute, hour of your daily experience is ultimately a product of the physical idea of time. That all these moments have, in the general sense, already be present, or that they exist as potentialities and possibilities. They are predetermined in that sense, but they are determined into being in another sense of being at the present. And you're at the present, and you determine the future from the past. What do we mean by that? You determine the future from the past. This understanding goes against our common sense understanding of how time moves in space. You see, time is not this line that is occupying a new position continuously within an empty space. That when I walk into a dark room, oh well, I can see that I moved from this position into the position that I'm currently in, and I have an innumerable number of different positions I could potentially go into. But rather from a more objective perspective of time, and I say objective because it's a more concrete understanding of time, meaning it takes a more total understanding of time, which includes the innumerable set of potentialities that can go into any moment, each of which must necessarily occupy a position in space. If we take space to be this infinite and endless aspect that is part of any moment. So if you have anything, it needs to be disclosed by space, or space is the self-external identity that lacks identity, part of any identity, part of any self-identical element. It's always the thing outside the identity which discloses it as another and not itself. And therefore itself finds itself self-identical within this other which hosts it. We think time is moving forward, which proposes the commonsensical idea of time that you're always occupying a new position in space, a position that was once not there, and now it's there once it happened. Every upcoming moment is new because, well, I never experienced it before. But the idea of a deja vu that we all know, we all have a lot of experience with, it's such a universal experience for everybody. This feeling that, I've been here before, but how could it be? Because it just happened right now and this is new. But is it? From this perspective, time is being actualized from a backwards position and not from a forward position. And what do I mean by that? Because if you're moving forward in time, meaning that new events are constantly happening to you, these new events never happened before, and now they're happening, and therefore they're occupying an empty position in space, and their occupation of space now becomes the past. If that's how time is moving, then the future is no potential at all. It's just this empty place for something to fall into. But then the something that falls into it has came from somewhere, has came from the past. But the past, being itself past, meaning no longer being there, cannot sustain the determination to bring something into being. And therefore, for something to come into being, must have had a necessity, some kind of determination, which led it into existence. And this determination is what we mean by the complete notion of time, which time is not just moving forward, it's also moving forward from an inverse position. It's being actualized backward. When you're moving forward in a duration of time, you're occupying a position that was once there, and this position is a possible moment. So you're falling into this possible moment, or attaining it. But this possible moment, if it truly exists, or all possible moments exist, all of them at the same time, then your actualization forward into them is their actualization backward into you. You see, they're being replayed by your motion into them forward. Because when I attain something, when I actualize something, that thing was already there, but now it got confirmed.